My name is Teacher Deepy, and for today's lesson, we will be covering vocabulary related to an interview. So, the first thing is to go over what we will learn. We will learn vocabulary for interviews. We will learn definitions of said vocabulary. We will learn how to say the words as well as examples of the words being used in sentences so you can understand how to use all the vocab and where it will be used, when it will be used, stuff like that. Obviously, this stuff will be used mainly in interviews, so that's what we are covering today, the vocabulary. But first, let's all have a discussion. I would like everyone to talk about interviews they had in the past. I would also like people to I would like to see people partner up as well. This will help others learn about past experiences and just like hear about other times interviews were good or bad, stuff like that. So we'll do that for around 5-10 minutes, then we'll move on to the vocabulary because we have a lot to cover today. So in this discussion, just answer these questions basically. Can you tell me about a memorable moment from a past interview? What question did you find hard to give an answer to? Well, let's see. The first one. For me, I would say in an interview, a memorable moment for me was knowing the interviewer was actually my friend. So that was quite memorable for me because even though he's my friend, he still treated me like I was just another person. So that's what I liked about it. I thought it was quite funny that way because you don't understand when your friend is interviewing you for a job. It's quite funny. What question did you find hard to give an answer to? So I had a question like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Something like that. It's a very common question, but for me, I didn't have any idea how to answer it at the time. Like I wasn't really thinking about 5 years ahead, but it's the kind of question that implies, or how would you say, it kind of invites you to look at the future. It makes you think about what else you want to do in the future, not just from the job, but what else you could bring to the job in those 5 years, what else you could change in the job in 5 years, stuff like that. So, moving on, we will now look at the vocabulary. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words to go through. We have candidate, resume, or you can call it CV also, qualifications, experience, reference, interview, strengths, weaknesses, job offer, negotiation. These words are mainly related to interviews. So, like a candidate, for example, is someone who goes to an interview. Or we have a candidate coming for an interview this afternoon. An example there already. Resume, stuff like that. These are all pretty much related to interviews, but also you can use them outside of interviews as well if you like. So the first word is candidate. 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 So the definition of candidate is a person who applies for a job. To use this in an example sentence, the company is interviewing a lot of candidates for the job position. So I would like people to write the stuff down. If you I'll give you a few minutes, like a minute or two, to write it down, and I can also send you the PowerPoint if it's easier. So there you go. I'll send you the PowerPoint. You can write it down if you want, but I'll also send you the PowerPoint so you can copy it down if you miss it. So next we have resume or CV. Resume. CV. A CV is a document that shows someone's work experience, skills, and education. It can show employers that, oh, this guy, he's got the work experience for the job, he's got the skills for the job, and he's also got the education for the job. So to use this in an example, I updated my CV before I applied for the job. That's actually meant to be resume. Sorry, my mistake. I updated my resume before I applied for the job. I made changes to my CV once I started applying for jobs. These are examples where you can use the words in sentences. So you can also say CV here as well. So I updated my CV. I made changes to my resume. You don't need to just stick. It's not just because I used resume here, you need to use resume all the time. You can also use resume in the second sentence whenever. So, third, qualifications. Qualifications. Definition of qualifications is, have you got the skills? Have you got the education? Or have you got the experience? What do you have? Have you got the skills or experience or education? That when someone says, what are your qualifications? What are you going to say? You tell them about your skills. You tell them about the education. You tell them about the experience that you possess. So to use this as an example, do you have the qualifications needed for this job position? So experience. Experience. So the definition of experience is the knowledge or skills gained by past jobs or education. So when we talk about experience, for example, me, my academic skills were gained in my experience at college. I gained my academic qualifications by going to college. That is a slight example of experience. So my experience in college led me to gain my qualifications. So to use this as an example, this person has 5 years of experience in the business industry. So now we have reference. 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 So a reference is something you can put on your CV, or you can have it at hand. At hand as in, like, you can just let the person know to give a reference. So a reference is someone who can vouch for you. It can be like a past work colleague or something similar. So when you list a reference, they can vouch for your skills and performance when you are working, just so the interviewer or the employers can know that, oh, this guy is who he says he is. He's got what we need, something like that. So, for example, I have listed a manager that was part of my TEFL course. I have listed a manager that was part of my TEFL course. This would be related to my CV. So I would list my reference on my CV. So now we have interview. 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 So interview is Formal meeting between a candidate and an employer to talk about the chance at gaining a job position that has been applied for by the interviewee. So, to use this as an example, tomorrow I have got a job interview at 12 p.m. for the job that I applied for. So, an interview is just going to be you and someone else. You two are going to speak. Interviewer is going to ask questions to the interviewee in such a place. This determines whether you get the job or not, kind of. So this can either lead to another interview which gets you the job, or this can lead to not getting the job. But obviously, if you want the job, we want to pass the first time. So, strengths. Strengths. So, what are strengths? Attributes or skills that make a candidate stand out and be of value. For example, to use this, I have the strength to work well under pressure. So, let's say a strength for me, I have the ability to adapt very quick. So, for example, if something happens, I can adapt quickly to the changes that hopefully don't occur. Like, I hope changes don't happen, but if they do happen, then you need to be able to adapt quickly enough. So, weaknesses. So, weaknesses are attributes or skills that may need improvement from the candidate as in you. So, for example, I'm trying to improve my time management when doing tasks. Simple. Something, if there is something that you feel like you lack and you want to improve, then that's a sign of a weakness. So, job offer. A job offer is when a company or a person offers you a position at a place of work or a company. So it's like a formal invitation, kind of. So in that invitation, they will offer you a position to work for them. So to use this as an example, I received the job offer after my interview was concluded. So after my job interview finished, I got a job offer to join the company. So now we have negotiation. Negotiation. So the process, a negotiation is the process of discussing terms such as salary and benefits before you accept a job role. To use this an example, we negotiated the salary and I managed to get something better than they first offered. That's a successful negotiation there. So now that is all 10. That should be all 10 words. So that's all 10 we went through. So now we have a task. Quick little task. Shouldn't take but 5 or 10 minutes. So we're going to match the words to the definitions. So let's go. For example, let me see. For example, we have strengths. Can someone tell me where strengths would go? Anyone? No. So, for example, here we go. Skills or attributes that make someone special. So we're going to match all these up. This will help you understand what words mean what, hopefully. And we will have 5 more. So 5 minutes for this and 5 minutes for the next. So let's go. So What, is everyone done? Good. So by now, I'm hoping you all had the answers that I had. So qualifications. Does anyone know where that goes? 1 second. Just need my pen. So interview qualifications. Qualifications goes to number 5. Experience goes to number 3. Interview goes to number 2. Candidate goes to number 1. I hope everyone done that correctly. I can understand it's a bit frightening. I just presented the words and now you need to match them up. So it's okay if you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's part of the learning experience. It's fun. It can be sad sometimes, but don't worry. Just chill. We're gonna learn and adapt. So now we have 5 more. You know what to do. Match them. Tell me. I'm not gonna say a word now. I'm gonna wait till you're all done and then we'll mark it. So, is that everyone done? Good. So we have negotiation. Where does negotiation go? Anyone tell me? Number 4. Yes. Job offer. Where does job offer go? Anyone? Number 1. Yes. Weakness. Number 2. Very good. Everyone's getting the hang of this fast. Resume. Where did resume go? Resume goes to number 3. And last but not least, reference and number 5. Now I hope everyone got these correct. Obviously, like I said, if you didn't, it's not the end of the world. We'll work on it. It's easy. So now we have a role play exercise. So in this exercise, I would like people to pair up. One person is the interviewer, one person is the interviewee. We're going to role play and a pretend interview. This will help us get used to being in an interview setting and hopefully more confident when it comes to being interviewed, especially in English. If you're learning English, it will be just as scary, but we'll make it fun. So I have set up roles for the interviewers. So we have the interviewer, a hiring manager at a top business company. The interviewee will be a candidate with, let's say, 8 years in the business industry. The main focus of this task should be for the interviewer to ask questions about the interviewee's experiences and skills that they have. Interviewees should focus on answering effectively and confidently with strong answers. Try and be as positive and strong and confident as you can with your answers. So, scenario. Let's go. Aim is to show how they can be valuable to the industry. That is the role. That is the role that. Not the role, sorry. That is what I want the interviewee to show. For the interviewer, I want the interviewer to basically be finding out from the interviewee how the candidate can benefit the company. So I've got example questions for you. So I'm not leaving you all out to dry. You've got something to work with here. So for the interview, what makes you a good fit for this job? How do you work under stress and pressure? Would you be able to give me a time you had a problem at work and had to improvise to overcome the problem? So that's three just basic questions. You can use these if you want, or you can try making up your own if you can. If you can. So I don't mind you using these, but if you got your own, then go on. You can use your own. So answers the interviewee could use. So at work, someone called in sick, and I was meant to be going home. I decided to take charge and stay in to cover the shift. This answers the question number one from the interviewer. Number two, I would say I possess the qualifications necessary. I have the will to grow and learn more to benefit myself and the company. Answers question two. Oh no, sorry. These aren't related. These aren't related. I made a mistake. So, yeah, these are answers that you could use just anytime. Like, these are just common answers. So, I completely forgot. I changed it up. I was meant to make them relate, but then I changed it up. But, anyways, moving on. So, at work, someone called in sick and I was meant to be going home. I decided to take charge and stay in to cover the shift. Number two, I would say I possess the qualifications necessary. I have the will to grow and learn more to benefit myself and the company. Number three, when I am under any pressure or stress, I always try to stay composed and calm. It keeps my head straight. So let's go. Let's conduct these interviews. Let's have some fun. So, is that everyone done? Good. I hope you all enjoyed that. I know it's a bit frightening. It must seem scary because it's your first time doing such an activity where you're pretending to be in an interview. You're answering so many critical questions, but trust me, uh, it gets easier. You get more and more used to it. So now, feedback time. I'll give everyone in the class feedback. I'll give you points where you need improvement, and I'll tell you points where I seen good work, good speaking skills, good English, good pronunciation. So specific feedback. Actions related to speaking skills in the role play activity. Constructive feedback will be given also. Areas that can be improved, and positive feedback. Areas where I have seen the students, as in you, where I've seen you all do well. That's what I will talk about in this feedback. So I feel like, student one, I feel like maybe your pronunciation could have been better. But I seen that you were very confident, so that was good. Despite the fact your pronunciation wasn't that good, it can also be improved, but you were very confident, so that was good to see. Student 3, let's see. For you, you need to be more confident when you're speaking in English. I feel like you're stuttering a lot, and that kind of made you sound very quiet. So maybe if you could uh, be a bit more confident next time, it will help you. But I seen that you tried at least. You're trying, so that's I admire that. That's a positive note, I would say. You tried, so don't be afraid to try. Always try. So that's the end of the lesson for today. Thank you for joining. I hope you all had a good day and a good learning experience. I will send this PowerPoint to anyone who wants it. In fact, I'll just send it to everyone. It'll be easier. because if you didn't write any of the words down, then it makes it easier for you to copy all down and for you to get a gist of what the lesson is like when you think about it by yourself. So, thank you for joining. See you at the next lesson. Goodbye.